Right, applying the gore. I've got a very thin mix of Gorilla Glue, PVA glue, and I'm going to paint one segment with glue. Quite liberal, but not thick, not running, but there's enough on there. Get any too much in the next segment, just give it a wipe with a piece of kitchen roll.
Married in December, 2 miscarriages before March. Her house was no longer her own. She just lost her kindly admirer, advisor, friend. And
then
her
get your gore, half gore,
and perhaps
and
miscarriages,
give it a good coat
of impossibly difficult childbirth,
as well,
difficult childbirth, perhaps.
And let it soak in.
Possibly marriage no longer seemed a good idea.
Give it another coat.
Tuesday, the 18th of April, 1876.
That's got a bit wet, but don't get it so wet that the glue goes all the way through. I don't know if it can, but I wouldn't risk it. And this takes a couple of minutes, but position the gore, line it up with the last one, or the one next to it and above it, and you know, all the surrounding gores, it will be eventually. And get it lined up with the pole. Get it lined up with the everything that it needs to line up with. Then make sure your brush handle is clean and just start giving it a wipe down, a rub, and that'll mould it to the sphere. Both directions, I think. Got a bit of excess there. Try not to get any on top if you can help it. If you do, get it off quick. I think a damp cloth would probably be best there, but I didn't have one. Don't worry if it looks like it's going wrong. You can slide it about to a degree and reposition it. Just keep going. Press it down, pat it down, rub it down, and eventually
who had done this to him? Well, if it crossed his mind, it certainly never crossed his lips.
You'll have it in the right place.
Although he knew he was dying. Oh, he knew.
That's right on the pole.
Before the end, the great Sir William Gull had been called, his reputation luminous with the glory of having saved the Prince of Wales.
There must be something else. Consider the gravity of your situation and all that you say and do.
I know.
If it's short of the lines, just try and stretch it over a bit. You've got a little bit of stretch, not a massive amount.
That's where you got it, Charlie.
Stretch it round.
If there's anything else in it, I don't
get a wrinkle, they do come out. I should imagine if you let it get too bad it won't, but
is there any hope?
Just be attentive.
It would not be right, Mr. Bravo, to give you
keep going and keep going and keep going. You're reshaping this paper. See, it's getting a little touch dirty there, so I must have a little bit of dirt on this. Clean it off as soon as you can. It could just be the moisture showing through as well, I suppose. Yeah, I think it could be. Stretch it, stretch it.
The statements supported each other, and the Charles they described was...
And that's really taking the shape of the sphere now.
Violent, passionately jealous, tormented by the thought of his wife's affair and her lover's presence in the
So maybe these are a little bit undersized. I'm not that bothered. This is my first real attempts at doing this, so if it's not perfect, I'm going to carry on with this sphere because it's an odd size, and eventually I'm going to do a 100mm sphere, and then I can make something more permanent up, and I'll be more careful
When Charles
about
first collapsed,
He said to me,
making adjustments
don't tell Florence.
to the size
No
of
such
these
thing has ever
gores.
been told to me by you or anybody else.
But that looks pretty good, look.
However,
That's on the
now,
line,
in her
coming up to the
statement, Mrs.
line,
Cox
covering that
said
line and
rather
just
more than that.
exposing
She
that
claimed
line.
Charles had said, I have taken
Tip of that
poison
could go over the
for Dr.
touch.
Gully. Don't
There we
tell
go.
Florence. The women seem to have overlooked the obvious. If sexual jealousy provided grounds,
Sometimes if the edge stays up too much, just get a bit of glue underneath. Brush a bit of glue underneath.
Was it murder by
Got some clean water there to keep my brush from gluing up. So that's 2 on. This is definitely working out a lot cleaner than it was before. Oh, I've got a little tiny wrinkle there, look.
Dr. Gully. So what did the old man shin up the drain pipe and
Gone.
slip into Charles's overnight water bottle? No.
And
All the suspects
this is going to give us a
were in
nice
this house.
surface on the sphere.
Agatha Christie story.
Thanks.
Cluedo.
French mustard! Mustard!
Now mustard is an emetic. It makes you sick. Mrs.